Vote now. Should we get a dog or not? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the vlog, guys. Now, yeah, title of this video is going to be something like, you know, going back to rim brakes or something like that. Now, straight off the bat, this is not like some 10 minutes of just dissing disc brake bikes by any stretch of the imagination. I want to kind of go through, well, my decisions. A lot of these things are relevant to me. Now, obviously, a couple of things might be relevant to a few people, but this is there's a personal look at it, okay? Let's get into it. Right, I would love the number one reason to have been some sort of specific performance thing that only I have picked out in the difference between rim and disc. It just weighed more. Like, that's actually what it was. Like, you were literally sitting there with two bikes going, well, this one weighs a kilo more than the other one. I'm gonna ride the lighter one.
I know what you're gonna say. There are a load of 6.8 kilo disc brake bikes out there.
Mine didn't weigh that. And plus, okay, for me, I add cameras to my bike. So I'm already going ahead and adding 200 grams to my bike. So to then turn around and say, well, you know what? You got to add another half kilo for your ability to brake. It's not something I'm rushing to do.
And being littler, I like climbing. I much prefer climbing. So I just prefer those extra grams, not necessarily going into stopping power, but going into the aero gains on a bike because, well, that's where I need help. A lot of what I do on the bike is this. It's, well, specifically Wakehurst Parkway, but it's a few rollers, and I'm kind of more likely to pick up the nimbleness of a bike rather than its braking capabilities. Look at this. Look at this frame. The Specialist CV Pantani edition. That's not gonna come in a disc brake bike. And if it did, it wouldn't look like that. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I found really interesting, right? So obviously running mechanical on both, but the size, the simple size of the hoods on the disc build being hydro really kind of changed the front end of the bike. Like, changed the geometry side of it. Obviously I had longer reach, but I certainly found, coming back to the rim brake mechanical, that the lever is a much neater, smoother shift. Hey, you know what's interesting about this? I'm running old Tegra mech on the rim and I was running Durace shifters on the disc. Not sure I'm allowed to say this, but the freaking old Tegra is beautiful. How good are disc brakes?
I take the wheels on and off my bike a bit, to clean it, to move it around, to travel, to go down the farm, put it on the roof sometimes for the car. So yeah, I do that quite a bit. And honest to God, I tell you, like every second or third time you take the wheel out and you put it back in, cha-chink, 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 cha-chink. You're like, seriously? And don't get me wrong, like, this is not a disc brake bash, and like, example of that is, yes, so when I'm descending, and I tested this, when you're sort of descending like a rough, long descent, I did this on Berry Mountain, okay? And yeah, it's a rough, long descent, and the braking points are different. Like, I found that I could consistently brake closer to the corner running the disc brake bikes. 100%, no two ways about it. But the thing is, like, for me, that's literally 0.0004% of my bike riding. I think a massive part of my decision probably comes down to some of the sort of things that I run. For example, guys, I don't run carbon clinchers. I run alloy training wheels. I just run alloy wheels pretty much 97.3% of the time. And when I'm not doing that, I'm racing on tubulars. Guys, look at the color of the sky above me, right? It's pretty common around here. And when it's not this way, I really just don't tend to ride. So the whole riding in the rain thing is great with discs. I'm sure it is, but I just don't do it. So it's not really that relevant. I look at all these guys, these Instagram feeds of like dudes riding these intense, epic gravel adventure days and
crossing rivers and creeks, and that's awesome. Looks amazing on Instagram, but I don't do it. I can't be bothered. This is my universe, the friggin' Anzac Bridge. It just kind of all gets a bit lost on me. Like, it's not relevant to me. And I think there's something in that. Like, what kind of riding do you do? Anyone who follows me on Strava knows that I like to turn right. Well, you know, I do a lot of riding here. I do a heap of riding in Centennial Park. It's just the reality of living in a metropolitan city and getting some training done. And yeah, I'll be down at Heffron Park. I'll be at West Head Road Race. I'll be at the Chop. I don't need braking. No, I haven't moved to the US. I'm just going to get in this side. I realise there is so much white noise around disc brake bikes. And I also am well aware that I'm literally adding to that white noise by making another video about disc brake bikes. But, okay, and this is not me trying to be preachy. I really promise, guys, it's not me trying to be preachy. But what I think the point of this to be from, like, not just Chris going on and on perspective is, well, like, don't feel as a customer, feel that you can still make an informed decision about what you want from a bike and not be forced into a decision. Perfect example of that is a story that Jesse was telling me.
Recently was getting a new bike, went into a bike store in Sydney. Budget was basically to buy whatever he wants. So he was looking at an S-Works Tarmac 2019 build with disc or a 2018 build with rim. And the bike shop was really pushing the disc, and his dad called me and asked my opinion, and I strongly recommend he still stick with the rim version. But the bike shop was really pushing to get disc.
Yeah.
So they sort of seem out of touch with the actual reality of racing. So
okay, and for me that's ridiculous. That is the point of almost why I'm doing this video, because no one should be in a position to do that. Make your informed decision about the type of riding that you do.
What about infrastructure changes, guys? So by that, I mean all those accessories that you were used to running that you now need to change. Bike bags, roof racks. Perfect example, we're fitting the van out at the moment. Well, we're going to be fitting the van out for our trip up to the Tour of the Tropics. Fork mounted mounts for the bikes. Now, if you're running disc, you got to get different fork mounts. Yeah, okay, they're little things, they're very cheap, probably accessories, but they're things you have to add. I remember the first ride I did with an electronic group set, and you know, I was a late convert, believe it or not, to electronic group sets, but I remember that first ride and getting on the bike and going, oh wow, this is something in this. Like, fast forward that to that first ride on the disc brake bike, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it. It's different. I kind of half think we might be overstating this. So by that I mean, like, I've come in here to Felicia Cycling Projects, and there's one disc brake bike here. There's what? 20 bikes here? There's one disc brake bike here. So in a sense, like, this wave that we're all kind of allegedly talking about and thinking about, it's a pretty damn slow wave. Like, I've really found this vlog a challenge, guys. I really have. Because, like, I didn't want to turn it into a disc brake bash. This was so annoying. The fact that I'm making a decision to stick on rim brakes and, you know, give disc a miss for now means that, yeah, I'm going to point out some flaws on disc brakes. I get that. I'll cop some. I'm sure we'll cop stuff in the comments for it. But I think the key sort of part that, and it's been interesting thinking about it as it's sort of gone along, is it is horses for courses, right? I live here. I live in Sydney. I live in inner Sydney. So for me, a lot of the benefits that you hear about for gravel stuff, I even said gravel stuff, I didn't mean gravel, for disc is not relevant to me. It's not relevant to the riding I do. Even if I lived permanently in Berry, yeah, it would probably be something that I would consider far more than what I do and the surroundings that will surround me. Really? How cool is this spot? This is Blackwattle Bay, by the way, for those of you who don't live in Sydney. That's Glebe over there. That's kind of Rozelle, Lilyfield, Balmain there. And really, that's the city straight behind me. I should do like a bit more of this, shouldn't I? Yeah, we will. Like, I will do more vlog stuff that is sort of a bit more like vloggy. You know? So I kind of like doing that. I probably don't even need to say put a comment below, because I know people will put a comment below about this sort of stuff. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to share with you my thoughts on it. So do let us know your opinion down below. This whole video has been shot on a Sony RXO Mark II. Tiny little thing like this. I'll put a link to it below. Alrighty guys, see you later.
I really want to race in America again.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Crits or road races?
Anything.
Did you hear that?
Road races.
Anyone in America want to give us a race start? Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Next year?
Yeah.
Big trip?
Yeah, I'd do that, definitely. Vegan, get us a race start next year. Anything else you want to add? This could actually just be what the vlog is. No? He's off. Yeah. It's a red light. Won't put that on camera. It was a courier. They kind of, whatever. Gotta do that stuff. Alright, red light.